Let me call the Town of Washington ZBA monthly meeting to order for September. On tonight's agenda, there's the old business followed by the continuation of the Orvis application that was postponed from last month's meeting. And initially, we had on the agenda an application from Adelstein for 78 South Road for in addition to the property. Unfortunately, that never got a public hearing, so that will not happen tonight. So with that, we have the minutes from last month's meeting.
I have no suggested changes.
Okay, neither do I.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion. Frank seconded it. Okay, motion by John, seconded by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Okay, with that then, the floor is yours. Why don't you describe what you want to do, and we'll take it from there.
Okay, I'm Sandy Lehman. I'm with Argilli Solutions and the architect for the Orvis Company. Orvis has been in this property since the mid-90s.
We're doing a public hearing now, or are they just doing a presentation?
No, just a presentation.
And they operate a building, and you guys all have these documents. They've been operating a building. It's currently 6,339 square feet. It operates as a retail space, a space where their customers come to register for their experience or shooting experience. Also a members lounge, and then there's a small catering kitchen with an adjacent dining area for that. That space was expanded in 2012, and currently they're looking to add another 1,067 square feet to the building, which is specifically for retail sales to expand off. It will be expanding off the north edge of the property near the western side of that. So this green building, this green piece is the actual existing building at this point, and they're expanding on this addition over on this side.
So this would kind of be north, and this would be south.
That's north.
Okay.
So they're expanding on the north side near the west edge of this. The building's function is going to be retail, which is adjacent to their current retail area in the building. The construction style matches the existing building. There's no changes in finishes or whatnot. It's the same exterior finishes, windows, doors, lighting, roofing, etc. It's going to have the same roof pitch, so it really will just look like it has been there for a long time. This property is situated within their 233 acres. There's almost 3,000 feet to the back to the neighbor on the north, 1,600 feet to the neighbor on the east, 727 feet to the neighbor on the west, and 1,700 feet to the street line, which is on the south edge of the property. So this building is situated at a point where it really can't be seen by any other neighbors because it's so much inside their own property. And then this expansion itself actually is also not visible to the other people.
There was an expansion in 2012,
Yes.
but was the building in existence before then and used similarly?
Yes, so I had done this update from yesterday, which I have multiple copies if people want some. But this was the building prior to 2012.
What color?
Green, the whole thing was the building in 2012.
Oh.
And this was, green was retail, blue was the kind of members business area, and then the orange was the catering kitchen with a little dining area. And I have multiple copies, so I can actually open them all at the same time. So you can see this was what occurred in 2012. You can see this progression. So we expanded retail over here off this side, and then what was the catering kitchen became part of members lounge, and then all of this became the catering kitchen and the dining area. And then their proposed version, the third page of this 3-page document, just shows all of this part is staying the same. We're just expanding and adding this part over here.
The total of how much is the green retail space?
The whole proposed,
With
but
the proposed,
all is said and done is 3,027 square feet. They do have one of each of these if you want to include that in your.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.
so then the blue represents no retail activity at all.
Correct. It's a gathering area where people are
And would be
coming, right.
registered, that type of thing.
They come in, they're actually registering over here at this cash wrap area. Maybe you want to speak to the function of the blue area, members lounge.
Yeah, so the blue area is part of it is a cleaning area. A members lounge where members get together before or after the hunt. Relax and enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of seating, seating, comfortable seating, couches,
That type of thing.
relax.
Have a cup of coffee or beverage from here, just sit and hang
Okay.
out and talk about what happened during the day.
Okay.
White is the deck area, correct?
The white is the deck area.
Okay, and that
yes.
faces the parking lot.
Faces the parking lot,
Okay,
off a little bit to the side, and we're not
Gotcha.
expanding. the
Yeah,
deck at
okay.
all in this. The only thing we're
Alright.
doing is adding a slightly raised area for exiting to get down to the current grade.
all right.
Um,
Now I'm oriented.
You know when the original building went up? What year?
The 1700s, early 1800s.
Yeah, so the buildings started, this was the oldest section, and then they expanded. This is more modern construction. This is definitely more modern construction, lolly columns, stud framing. This is old post and beam.
All right, you guys bought in the mid-90s? Was the building used for retail and kitchen then too?
I don't know if anyone knows about the mid-90s. I do know that I did find an article from 2000 that does document how some teenagers were arrested or picked up for stolen property from the Orvis Pro Shop. It was $2,000 worth of product. So I do know that in July 5th of 2000, the retail shop was there.
Now, I was just curious what existed before 2008 when the zoning code went into effect.
I will say that the kitchen that was there previously, although I don't know for sure, I don't have any evidence, I can tell you that the photographs show that it's a rather old kitchen. So
Okay.
it's been there for a long time.
I can recall that it was there in 2002, 2003 timeframe. I just had happened to be there and there was a back area, cigars and brandy back. I didn't go in there. I just was there, on a given day and I noticed that. A kitchen, no, I don't recall if it was one or not.
When Orvis purchased the property in the mid-90s, we did have a pro shop. It was one of the, early on.
You say pro shop, what type of retail merchandise? What kind of weapons, ammo?
The materials with the things that you would need to go out in the field. So clothing for the field, shotguns, ammunition.
Okay, so you do have that. What's your protocol for keeping that safe at night? Oh,
It's all,
Andrew's the general manager at the facility, so
Oh,
I'll let
okay.
him.
it's all locked up. Ammo's locked up, guns are locked up.
Extensive cameras.
Alarm?
Cameras.
Everything's
Alarm
done with
Yes.
FFL compliance at
Yeah.
all times.
okay.
I understand that the alarm system, if something went off, it actually calls the local police.
That's
It doesn't
correct.
just go
Oh,
to,
the
yeah,
alarm system.
it
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
just go to
yeah.
ADT, but it actually is the police. shop.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Okay.
And that product was on sale prior to the 2012 renovation. It was just given more space in the 2012 renovation, and then it will continue.
Do you have certain hours of operation for the building?
9 to 5.
Bye.
And the cafeteria runs 9 to 5 too, or that
It does not. It runs from 11 to 3.
11 to 3? Okay, but it's still within that 9 to 5 envelope.
Correct. No business occurs after 5.
Okay.
And in a note, wanted to note that in one of the questions that came up, the question was, does Orvis intend to have more business from this? They do intend to have more business from it, but less, not necessarily more traffic. They're hoping that the customers that are already visiting the space will elect to buy more product, not necessarily that they're going to be enticing more people.
You have to be a member to go in and dine?
No.
So it is open to the public. Okay.
On an average day, then how many people would you say, come to this site for traffic purposes?
Just did the math a little bit ago and I'm forgetting your
75.
75? Peak would be a little higher then?
That we did the average, when we were doing the math
Average.
at dinner, we averaged it out. So yes, it would be a little higher and it would be a little less at the slower time. So that would be the true average, annual average.
Except on like last weekend when you had a big event.
That's correct.
On how many big events do you have per year typically?
That's that event. We do that once
just
a
the one.
year.
Once a
Yeah.
year? So then when you have the overflow and the parking down at the area,
That's once a year.
once a year?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, Sandy.
I think that is the primary piece of this. I'm not sure if we can answer more questions or.
So if you were to say the average traffic's only 75, you would say you're not really going to increase that at all beyond what it is.
Correct.
The idea of this is to provide an enhanced service to those who are already coming.
Coming in on a typical day for your hunting activity, how many people are then involved in that?
Involved with
Employees.
with hunting.
No.
What's the
Yes, paying customers.
Well, there's, not to get too deep into it, but there's kind of two sides on it. There's the sporting clay side and then the upland hunting side. The upland hunting side is going to be less numbers essentially because there's only so many people that can go on a field hunt at once. The sporting clays course would have obviously some more than that. It'd be a handful, less than a dozen on the hunting side, dozen people, dozen hunters in a full day.
That's during the season. I mean, it's late September to.
September to April 15th.
I think it's important to probably draw a distinction. 70, we said 75 cars, or 75 was the number of vehicles.
Yep.
Multiple people will often be in those cars. If there's a round of sporting clays, but usually 2 to 4 are going to show up. If it's a hunt, 2 people are going to show up. So you're going to have multiple people per vehicle.
Okay, but if I take that and say you've got 75 people for your, I'll say your shooting customers, then you've got a restaurant or an eating area with 62 or something seats, which then requires another 13 parking spaces. In the retail, you need another 30 parking spaces. So you're over 100 spaces.
That encompasses all of it.
The people who are coming for one will do the other. They're not separate. We don't ever have 30 people coming to sit down in the dining room. They're coming to shoot and then they eat as well.
So the number that you provided
They eat
is
as well.
the number of people who are visiting throughout the day, which includes people who are either shopping or dining or shooting or lounging. That 75 cars is kind of that total for
The
the
total
day.
for the day.
If I go by the zoning code, though, I think I need a number of parking spots for each of the activities in addition.
But the challenge is that people aren't just going for one piece. So it's
Okay.
kind of hard to separate and say, well, 4 people are coming to shoot, or 4 people are coming to shop, and 20 people are coming to shoot, and 10 people are coming to this, because it's the same group of people doing these multiple functions throughout their process.
And we don't advertise them separately. We don't advertise that we've got a restaurant on property. We don't advertise that we have a retail store.
Those are kind of byproducts.
Those are
of-
byproducts of the people who are coming for the sporting activity.
And also, this building has been operating this size for 11 years without any need of additional parking, except obviously on the Jane Thursday. So the fact that there's just a handful of more customers who might come in to purchase a product here, which, you know, this isn't even all occupiable, like this is a storage area. There's only like 4 extra people who would be, 8 extra people who would be coming to this. But this building itself has been operating for 11 years with no issues.
I think important to note too, when the gravel parking area right in front of the facility is one area where we can park vehicles. There's multiple other places that we don't call parking lots that are perfectly flat grass, that in overflow situations, we can put vehicles, but we don't often have that need. The gravel area, the parking area that we've got has always been very sufficient. And we have handicap parking places up close for those who need that as well.
Well, off the top of your head, if you had said you had some overflow spaces, how much could you double the 75 capacity of the gravel?
Well, how many did we put on the property this weekend?
Absolutely, we could, yeah.
So,
Easily.
so you think.
Quadruple.
Okay. Okay, so even though you've probably got 75 in the gravel, you've got enough to cover if you had said you had to do each one individually in one month.
Absolutely.
Okay. So then if you're not increasing the traffic and you don't have a parking problem, not changing the hours and you're not changing the number of people that you were doing the shooting, you're not really increasing the noise level. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement.
Okay. Last question that comes to mind right now. What do you do with the roof rainwater when it discharges? You're only like 20 feet from the buffer area. Okay.
There are gutters that come off of here. This is just going straight to daylight. There is no underground cistern for it. By buffer area, are you referring to the
Your
wetlands?
stream, yeah, your stream is 120 feet away, right?
Yes.
Correct. So your buffer area then is
20
20
feet to
away.
spare.
So in heavy rains like we had, last week, does the water from the roof end up in the buffer area?
Any of the water that comes off of this half of the roof definitely would be rolling this way toward that. Yes. You'd have to speak to whether or not you've seen any sort of issues, because that's currently the same pitch at this part of the roof as well. If there's actually been any issues. with
No
it.
issues.
So technically, you're saying this is a pitched roof
Yeah, it's
here,
right there.
so you only got that half of
That's
the
correct.
roof to discharge towards the stream buffer area.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and it's actually only this additional piece of it for this expansion. It's just this part, because this all exists.
I understand it exists. It's
Cumulative.
cumulative at some point.
Of course, it's just noting that issues haven't been seen at this point.
Yeah, the other issue becomes, since you didn't do a variance for the 2012, we covered that when we issued anything that we do now to cover the previous addition that you put on.
Correct. When we submitted for the building department, James Finley had noted that that wasn't covered in 2012, and so it needs to be covered at this point.
Because I think if I remember right, the number I've seen from our consultants represents 137% increase over the original building that was in place before 2012.
Yes.
134%.
Under 34,
Mhm.
okay, off by 3%.
You're in the ballpark.
Yes.
Voice. Parking. I think I've covered most of mine, Alex.
Now, again, with the addition of the retail space, the type of products you're gonna offer is what typically if a shooter or a hunter comes in, they're gonna buy. It's not something that's gonna draw people from wherever just to shop.
Correct. It is targeted directly at that particular customer. So this room is designed for the display and the purchase of guns.
Right,
There's a small storage area back there so that because some of their members might leave some of their guns here, and then there's a storage or an area back here receiving shipping when they receive boxes and just from UPS just can transfer them through here. So that's what this is. But this is not product that's outside of it. The only addition here is for guns.
right. So it's just to meet already the number of customers that you have showing up on the property as is, right? But and as you mentioned too, it is open to the public. If I need to go over there and buy a wool shirt, anybody can do it.
Yes. And for their customers that are coming in, they have the option of, if they don't have their own gun, that they can't rent it.
Right,
So the idea here is that someone might not need to rent it anymore if they purchase one. So
Right.
it's really trying to just convert that customer to a sale of product as well, not just to have them keep coming in and renting. But it's specific to
Shotguns.
shotguns.
right. No, I understand
Yes.
that.
Yeah, not,
There's no pistols, there's no.
Right, no, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm familiar with the property.
Great.
So, okay, other than that, I don't have any other questions.
I have nothing further either.
I do have one more question. With the additional 1,000 square foot, is there going to be any increase in employment that benefits the local economy by hiring more people, maybe part-timers?
I don't think that's, I mean,
certainly
obviously,
the space will have its own manager. And if things go as the way we hope they will with the existing traffic that we have, there will obviously be part-time experts needed. And we've already expanded the shop side of things to have an employee that is focused on gunsmithing. So that is existing as well, or that's there as well. So certainly there will be a benefit to the local economy, both in tax and employment.
No, haven't done the public hearing yet.
CAC question, though.
What?
A CAC question.
At the public hearing.
Public hearing. And we're going into the public hearing.
Saved us some trouble with the planning board.
I'll make a motion to go into public hearing.
Second.
Motion by chair, seconded by Frank. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried unanimously.
Used to being on a school board.
Howard?
Howard, go ahead. CAC input.
First thing that you said about the runoff from the roof and everything, getting close to the buffer. In past applications, sometimes rain gardens were put in place there to ameliorate that. And that would be Steve Marino, not me, to make a decision of that nature. And you might want to consider that because all the roof space that's on that property. And so that was my first comment. And I'll probably make the same comment to the planning board, so that's when they come there as well. And this second thing is the lighting. CAC is always concerned with lighting. Now, this is a pretty isolated property, so lighting is not going to be much of a problem. If you're going to build a village or something, but there's two things. There's a whole section of code that deals with lighting. It's a code section 485.5. And some of the things are when the lights are turned off, glare on other properties. And not that it's going to be that much of a problem in my own market, it's probably so big. But I think it needs to still be written down and addressed somewhere in the code, you know. And all lighting has to be off by 11 o'clock, it says in there, unless it's security need for it. So I would suggest that you take a look at section 485 of the town zoning code. I looked at your application, I didn't see any mention of anything in there with regard to that. There's a few minor points in there.
Those are not really ZBA issues, though.
I can't hear one.
Those really aren't ZBA issues, they're more planning board issues.
Well, I'm just mentioning it now because they are going to the planning board. I did send her an email about this before, and I didn't see any mention in the code. So it might save a lot of time when we go through it. These are just minor things. Most people have put them in their code already. There's a little footnote somewhere. And the other thing is dark skies. We've had several applications before you and before the planning board, and they've always accepted the dark sky standards on these. And there's not much to do. It's that fixture that you put on there, just order a dark sky compatible fixture. We normally have lighting in 3,000 Kelvin areas. It's a darker, more subdued lighting. And that's all there is to dark sky. And the last two are Upton Lake Dark Sky and DLC, just so you remember that we did talk about these things in the past. There's a few more. So if you take a look at that and see if you would find it suitable for you to just amend it slightly and say the lighting will be dark sky compatible. That's all.
Thank you. Joe, anything?
Yeah, I actually do want to talk about Orvis. So I first will tell you, I don't know if anybody here has been to their location and seen visually what they have now. I have, as Andrew knows. I've attended many functions there, and I use the retail space all the time. I will tell you that Orvis, whatever they do is to the top echelon. Like anything, any detail is 100% to impeccable. You don't get any better than Orvis. Their attention to detail is next to none. The retail shop that they have there now is vital to the community. I use it. I shop there. I recommend it to all my friends. I've been thanked many times. Joe, I cannot believe this is here. I've actually suggested to the previous managers that they should have a retail shop on Franklin Avenue instead of having it there. But there's really no need because people know where it is and people use it. So just to let you know, it's a vital, you asked about the economy, it supports the local economy. And it's very vital to the area.
Okay. With that, I guess a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Frank, seconded by Alex. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried unanimously. Okay. The other housekeeping, this had to go to the county. The county came back and said it was of local interest, so they had no basic input for it from the county. In terms of us being the lead agency on seeker, there was a note from the planning board that they were comfortable with us being the lead agency. The CAC did not respond in writing.
Good job.
Huh?
We think you'll do a good job.
So in the 30 days, so therefore that's covered also. Okay. So with those three items, comes now to reviewing the short assessment form. Okay. And when I looked at it, there were a couple of areas that I had questions on. Question 2, it says proposed action requires a permit approval of funding from any other government agency or funding. You answered yes, but then you didn't put any agency down.
That should be a no. I'm sorry, a permit, yes. Sorry, I thought I heard you only say funding.
No, permit approval or funding from any other, does require from the planning board,
And
And for the
building
building
permit.
department, yes.
so.
Sorry.
And there was a question I had on agricultural, and Alicia, maybe you can help me, because Aaron had said something in one of the documents that there needed to be some sort of agricultural information or map showing how far the agricultural land was from the, and I haven't seen anything on that.
The agricultural data statement,
Yeah,
and that was submitted. Initially, it was missing the map of the farm within 500 feet and the list, but then it was submitted. Did it make its way to you?
I don't recall seeing that, so. Frank, Alex, I'm sure you have looked into this in detail.
no, I don't remember seeing it. I do remember Aaron's comment on it though.
I think it came in the day of the last meeting, if I remember, or the day before the meeting that we had the last time it did not formally occur.
Nobody's got an aerial map or anything of the,
There is one, I think this is specifically with the farms. There is one farm.
Is it across the street?
Across the street.
yeah, Thorndale across the street. I thought that was the only thing that was there.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's any farmland. There's Caribou Arboretum adjacent.
It's just this-
That's
Yeah, but they don't have any form.
That's not agriculture.
Just across the pond.
It's just cities.
About that. Yeah, I know it was submitted, but after the
There it is. I mean, this isn't official, but the only farmland I see is across the street,
Yeah,
Thorndale.
Just, a quarter mile away from.
I thought it was in that document that Jason sent last night.
yeah, it was emailed by Manya, like 2 days before that last meeting.
Actually, I saw it.
Alicia, is that supposed to be attached to the EAF form then?
No, it's separate.
It's separate?
Part of the application.
Yeah, well, they're both part of the application, but they're separate documents.
Okay,
And the EAF is just for your information and assessment as the lead agency to determine whether you have enough information to,
Do a neg deck.
do a negative.
yeah, or whether it's say, no, we need more information. So as long as you feel that the EAF provides enough information for you to make that assessment, then you need to say it.
So in that, yeah, it says it was addressed, but is that what we're trying to find is?
No, so the EAF doesn't speak directly to the agricultural data statement because they're
Separate documents.
Separate
Right,
documents.
separate documents.
But in item 2 on the EAF, it says an agricultural data statement is required, and then the comment addressed, the applicant has submitted a map. List
Sorry.
of farms within 500 feet. It says we addressed it here in the,
Right, so in the memo comment to, right, comment two is about the agricultural data statement, comment three is about the EAF. And for comment two about the agricultural data statement, I personally did see the map, with the barn within 500 feet. I don't know whether it made its way to the board, but I know it was submitted.
Kyle, do we really need that to hold anything up?
I don't think it should hold up, your ability to move forward. I mean, you got the comments from and, Aaron, so I think you're good.
So we can ask them to resubmit a new preliminary form, short form.
Yeah, make it a condition of your approval.
Okay,
Just again to clarify, the EAF short form is separate from the agricultural data statement. And so if
okay,
you want to ask for them to resubmit a complete agricultural data statement, including the map of the farm within 500 feet, then that would address that. But then if you have concerns about the EAF, then that's a separate thing.
Right.
okay. I think I've got it. You understand it?
Yeah.
Okay. So then. Can we take Kyle's document?
Yeah, I'll try this. I'd make a motion to classify this action as an unlisted coordinated action under seeker.
Second,
Yes.
motion by Frank, seconded by Alex. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
My next motion is to declare a negative declaration for this action for the 12 reasons set forth in the written resolution that we have before us tonight.
I'll second that.
I'll second or third. whatever.
All in favor?
Motion by Frank, seconded by the chair. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay. So. Okay, you'll fill out this, right?
Yeah, he does that.
So that's-
She's got a copy.
Do I have to sign section 3 then and give it to you, Kristen?
Oh, on the EAF.
Yeah.
I can get that from you after the meeting.
Signature. I'll get it to you now because if I don't. Take that with it.
Thank you.
Okay. So now I guess we're down to the variance itself.
Mhm.
And the suggestion was made that if we give them a variance to the 25% rule, that we include the 2012
Right.
area. So that would make it, you would give me the number. We read the number before.
Yeah,
134.
I'd make a motion to grant the variance to expand the subject building, which currently has 3,159 square feet, to 7,406 square feet for a total increase of 4,247 feet, or 134% increase.
With the condition that they update the
EAF
form.
and file the agricultural. Yeah,
Data statement, yeah.
That's the,
You could, and then subsequent, following this, you're then gonna do a separate motion for the,
special permit. Motion by Frank, seconded by Alex, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Okay, next order of business is make a motion for a conditional special permit, providing the planning board concurs with the site plan or any modifications thereof that are agreed to.
contingent also upon the revised EAF being filed and the agricultural data statement. I'll second the motion.
Okay, motion by the chair for the variance, seconded by Frank, all in favor?
Aye.
That was for the special.
Special permit.
Special permit, I'm sorry. Okay. Hearing no negatives, it's, variance is granted. You have to go now to the planning board and ask for a site plan approval. You understand?
Yes, I would like to just get some clarification on the two forms that you're going to submit. I was trying to find the email that we had sent that had the map, so that's why I was.
Well, you may have it, just make sure we can,
Oh, correct. Okay, so this,
yeah, modifying that. You wrote right on yours already. Building permit and site plan.
It did go to me.
Okay, because I can't find it. and
I was the only, I mean, on the, I don't know if it went to the board separately, but on that, I was the only recipient.
Okay, yeah, I don't think I got it. But I can pass it on to the board if you forward it to
Yeah,
me.
I can definitely do that.
Thank you. So the EAF is just changing for that, and then nothing else.
With agricultural,
What is this one down here?
that's.
Planning board, building,
Inspector.
oh, building inspector, okay,
Yep. For a building permit.
okay. And then this one,
Just add the agricultural because it's.
Okay.
I think we're good with
okay, so we revised that one, and then you had also noted the
agriculture.
agricultural form.
So that's becomes part of the file. that we-
Yeah.
And the agricultural.
Data statement.
And I understand it's a type of business where you may show up to shoot or fly fish or whatever for the day. And you're gonna find out either you left something home or you want to upgrade, unlike, I don't know, 3/4 of the world now seems to order everything on Amazon, where if you go shooting, you're gonna quickly find, I need this right now.
We just want to make sure it was
I
filed.
forgot my rain jacket.
Yeah, that
This
too.
was filed, the map
Sweatpants.
was only sent to Alicia.
Okay.
This was part of the package.
Yeah, she's got a copy of the agricultural data statement here.
Let's put the map.
No, the map only went to you, the agricultural statement was part of the original package to Kristen.
Great. And I just forwarded the map to Chris.
Okay.
Okay, and we're set on the,
So I don't issue anything.
we're set on the map, Kristen, then?
Yep, Alicia just sent it, I got it.
Excellent.
Okay, so I just have to resubmit this.
Just modify that.
Kristen?
And, yep.
Okay,
Then go to
and
planning
then we're on
board.
to planning.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank
Any
you,
other
Good to go.
questions? Thank you.
You're welcome, guys.
Yep.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
thank you
It'll
very
be
much.
nice. I've also been to Orvis for a couple of things, and I agree with Joe. It's a first-class operation, really is.
Thank you very much. Thanks, appreciate that.
I'll second that, because I've been there too.
I've been there a few times.
Thank you for the good feedback.
I'm often Jeff Finkel's guest.
Oh, very good.
Oh, I didn't have those up.
Need a motion, Frank will make a motion, and Chair will second it for adjourning.
Move to adjourn the ZBA meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Here we go.